Hello, everybody, Psycho-Creative community. So we're gonna talk today about emotional transformation, which is a topic that gradually takes more place in the world. People start talking or to mention this concept of transformation. If it is people that are focused on emotional processes or spiritual processes, or both of them, here we combine spiritual and emotional. The term transformation becomes more popular, and I think this is part of the, I would say, humanity development or evolution. So we are part of this progress. So we're going to watch the second video about emotional transformation. Please write to yourself every question or everything you want to share about what you see in the video or generally about emotional transformation. So you will be able to enrich the discussion later. Every question is legitimate and makes a contribution. Okay, every question is valid and helpful. So let's begin. Let's see the video. Wait. I need to find it. I will find it for us. Just a second. Okay. My internet is a bit slow, but we'll get there. Okay. So we're talking about emotional transformation, chapter 2. You see, what I've done now is also Israeli, and not for the good way. I improvise. I didn't prepare it properly before the meeting. This is also Israeli, the Israeli energy. Many times we are not that thorough. But, you know, every place you have advantage and disadvantage. Eventually we're here. This is the video. We're going to watch it together, and then we have a discussion about this. Wait, you see? I didn't share it with sound. Now it will be okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for decided to join this adventure where people find their own natural, innate strength and abilities and skills to heal themselves. This is the art of turning the energy stored in a problem into productive, fruitful energy that helps us grow, heal, change, etc. First chapter, we discussed the victim narrative that we all possess one way or another in the places where our problems persist or repeat. Over there, if you look good enough, we will see that a very important part of our problem experience is also that we feel as if we are a victim of a situation. It's important to acknowledge this, not to run away from this, not to be ashamed of this. Acknowledge, because once we acknowledge and expose this, we can do the transformation to this particular issue in us. Okay? So do not be afraid to find the places in which you feel as if you're a victim. It's okay. It's a part of the process. It doesn't mean you are weak. It doesn't mean you are childish. It doesn't mean you are not mature. On the contrary, it means you have the courage to take an honest look at yourself and see what is really there. And whatever is there, we can transform. Chapter 2. The addictive aspect of the victim position, victim status, victim feeling, victim narrative. The addictive aspect of this state, usually this is something that we miss, that there is here a kind of addiction. And this addiction has a purpose: to keep us in this victim narrative, to keep us in this victim feeling or experience. This is how it works in every addiction. And you should be aware of this, that a part of your struggle, difficulty in releasing your problem, in transforming it, in healing this problem, is that there is some addiction inside it. We get addicted to feeling victim. It's not easy for people to admit or even to think that they are addicted to something. Even if their addiction is prominent and obvious, and all people can say that you're addicted to something, still we will do everything we can to deny it. Not to acknowledge this, not to take a close, honest look at ourselves. It's hard for us to acknowledge that we are addicted. We have so many stereotypes, so many negative associations, so many negative beliefs we have learned in our society about the addicted people. We would not like to be part of this weak and sick tribe. We do not want to belong to them. We do not want that people will say to us, hey, you are addicted. But this is how it works. This is the mechanism. There is an addiction over there. The addiction makes you return to this feeling. We are addicted to feel as if we are victims. And the addiction is one of the reasons you repeat on experiencing the same difficulties, the same hardships related to this or those problems. It is very important for you to realize, or even to open your heart to the possibility that you are addicted. Many times, this part of the process, acknowledging, realizing, or at least making a room for the assumption that we are addicted, many times this is a very, very big step towards transformation. As long as you do not acknowledge the addictive nature of feeling victim, you cannot cope with it. It's like you're chasing your tail. You won't be able to make any substantial change. You need to know that you're addicted. You need to look in the mirror with love, with affection, with compassion, and say to yourself, yes, I am addicted to this problem. It's hard for me to stop the presence of this addiction, this problem in my life, because I'm addicted to it. Now pay close attention to what is hidden in this message. Once you stop denying that you are addicted to the victim narrative, story, state of mind, you actually start reducing that specific feeling. Because being a victim means that the situation determines my life. That things outside of me force me to be in this problem. I'm just a victim. It's not my responsibility, really. It's someone else's fault, someone else's responsibility. I just was there and I got hurt by a negative situation, hostile, aggressive, indifferent situation. And this is where I am. I can't do anything. So, once you start acknowledging that a main part of this whole drama is that you're addicted to being victim, then you stop being a victim, because then you realize that the real story, the main story, the main problem is in you. And I'm not trying to blame you, I'm trying to show you that you possess the problem and you have the capability of dissolving, of breaking this problem into small pieces. Yes, but only when you realize that it is there in you, that it is just an addiction. It's not that life or the world are so hostile to you specifically. And there are problems over there. There are situations that hurt us, that press us. Of course there are. But if you want to make a transformation, you have to realize your part in this drama. So something happened in the past, and then you continue carrying this trauma, this memory, and staying addicted to feeling a victim. What the transformation is trying to tell you, that you do have the power to turn the energy stored, stuck in a problem, into a productive, fruitful energy. It is in your possession. It begins with the understanding that one of the most important secrets here is that you are addicted. Now, this is at first bad news, and then it is good news, because if you're addicted, you can recover from your addiction. And this process offers you the tools to do it, but first you need to acknowledge. So it is in you, it is in me. And it is confusing, because it's easier for us to just say, well, I'm a victim, what can I do? What can I do? The country, the city, the mayor, the prices, the neighbors, they all so cruel to me, etc. It's easier to say this, but nothing changes there. If you can also say, well, there are problems with them, but I am addicted to feeling victim from all of them, when you can realize this, deep inside you, you also realize that a change is possible, because you can recover from your addiction and you can do something better with all the wrong situation that you meet. You can change yourself, and then you can change the situation. It doesn't mean that everything will become perfect, but a major change is there, is your potential. So start with realizing, or at least opening your heart to the possibility that you are addicted to being a victim. And from there, we can move forward to the next step towards transformation. Okay. So I have written many notes here now about this, my associations. Before I'm asking you a question that I would like to ask, is there anyone here who wants to say something about what we just heard, or to share feelings or thoughts or whatever? So if you ask now, I will navigate the conversation also according to your question. You can ask later, of course, but if you have something, you feel the urge to ask now, please do. Just open the microphone. Yes, Jerry.
I just want to say this is language that I'm used to, because I am in recovery. I've been in recovery for about 11 years for different things. And so admitting the problem is the beginning of the transformation. So thank you. This
Okay. I would like, thank you. In English, we use the term recovery. there is a different word in Hebrew, a specific word in Hebrew that does not exist in English about the specific process of getting out of addiction. But I think that we should add to the term recovery, the term transformation, and this will lead to my question. And this will lead to the question I want to ask you, but thank you for sharing this. So you were, or you are, in the continuous process of recovery. What kind of addiction did you have? Was it alcohol?
No, it's three things. They're kind of all related. Food addiction, codependency, and adult child of alcoholism. And they all have different forms of recovery.
Okay, okay. By the way, all addictions work through the same mechanism. They just different people or different times we have different addictions, but they all share the same mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
All addiction share the phenomenon of the inability to avoid ourselves being part of behavior that harms us. And the recovery is the way we show ourselves that we can exist without these behaviors, without harming ourselves. When we talk about transformation, we go even further and we take the energy, the emotional energy that we can witness through addiction. So all the drama over there, all the dependency. So there is some energy over there, and we would like to transform this energy into productive, to creative energy that changes our lives, not just being without the addiction, but also making something positive out of the addiction. Okay, this is the concept of transformation. So this is my question to you, to all of you. I'm going to use the word darkness or negativity. We have many kinds in humanity, many kinds of what we may refer to as darkness phenomenon, negativity, bad things. It depends, of course, on your point of view, but we can all agree that these things exist. And I'm saying that there is a reason, there is something useful in the fact that there is darkness, there is negativity, and it is related to this video. So this is my question for you. If there is a purpose, divine purpose, in the big order, there is a purpose for the darkness or the negativity in life. What may be the process, may be the purpose, your opinions? Because usually we refer to darkness as something that should be eliminated, period. All the purpose will be to eliminate it, just to eliminate crime, to eliminate aggression, all those things that we may regard as negative, as bad things. And I'm saying that over there is a purpose for human development. And it is related to these lessons about addiction to the victim state of mind. So do you have any guesses or any suggestion, or maybe you do not agree with me that there is a purpose for the darkness or the negativity? I will offer you a concept about this, but I would like to know if some of you have anything to offer about this question. It is a hard question, I know. But nowadays in Israel, we don't have any other option. There's so much negativity and darkness. We need to face it. We need to cope with things that happen and are very radical. And over here also, we have the place in which we may be dragged into a very victim position. I mean, we're helpless. Many things are just taking place, or maybe there's another option. And I believe this option begins with the question, what is the purpose of darkness? Why is it here at all? Anyone wants to say something?
I want to try and answer.
Okay, Daphne.
I don't know what's the purpose, but I can see the effect. And I know that every time negativity is around in me, it doesn't allow the light to come out. So it stops my development or, well, I can't find the words in English now, but this is more or less the idea that the effect of it is like against development. It doesn't allow development. I don't know if this relates to the video we saw, but this is what comes to me.
It does. Of course it does. Well, if you don't have the English, you can try Spanish, but no one will understand you. But at least you'll be fluent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is what Daphne says, that darkness or negativity blocks or stops or delays or minimize development or minimize the ability to express light. Correct? This is what you say, more or less? Okay, thank you. I wrote it and I will refer to it. Other options? Yes, Basha.
I would like to add that to what Daphne said, that for me, it also kills me and robs me from joy, negativity, stress, and I find it difficult then to focus on good things or to do something creative, to do something positive. It takes me time until I can recover from it. But I wanted to share also something about my personal life, that I used to perceive negativity as very bad, any problem as something really bad. And since my childhood, I was always avoiding it. and actually now I do avoid it too, as much as I can, yes. But I remember learning that actually there is always something good out of bad. And so I remember somebody gave an example of the picture of the painting, that in every painting there are bright colors, light colors, and dark colors. And if there were only light colors and there were no black, the painting wouldn't make sense. Yes, it wouldn't be beautiful. Well, maybe in somebody's eyes it would be, but apparently in every picture, this is the reality. They are contrasts. Yes, if there wasn't this dark part, that we wouldn't see the light. Yes, actually it's part of learning about something different. Yes. And I wish to learn more. And I mean, I wish to have better attitude and kind of cope with negative experiences better than I have done so far. But yes, I guess it's a process. Yes, it's a process. But now my awareness is, and you are saying about it too, that maybe there is something good out of bad. Yes, and I've experienced also good things happening within bad things. Yes, we learn about, for example, I'm a teacher. Yes, and today I had very stressful situation in the class, and I had to solve the problem between students. But while solving the problems, so many good things came up. You know, kids had better ideas. How could the problem be solved better and differently? And that was very interesting to hear and to see in those kids, yes. But the key was to stop and ask the question, why? What could be done differently? Look, what is the consequences of your behaving this way towards another student? Yes, because somebody was shouting, crying, and hurting, and so on. So yes, I can see that there are good results, can be good results of bad events. But yes, we have to be patient, I believe, and ask questions and analyze and see, look for the good out of this bad, I suppose.
Oh, thank you. I think it is specifically very exciting what you just said, Basha, First of all, to know that you're a teacher. What are you teaching?
I teach English as a second language
Oh,
in
right.
Poland. And also,
So
I
this is
used to
like-
teach. I used to teach PE as well, but now I do only kind of correction gymnastics out of my previous kind of experience.
So I don't know if everyone knows here what PE is.
PE is
Oh.
physical education. So basically,
Okay.
sports. I used to teach a lot of sports before I was qualified to teach English. So
Okay, so I want to tell you why I find it exciting personally, because as I said before, I have decided to start training new kinds of teachers that will teach about love, actually teach love. And after more than 25 years of researching these topics intuitively, because there are no real academic studies of these things, because it's not that logic. And one of the first things that I emphasize in this learning is the ability to ask more questions. So once you turn the exclamation mark into question mark, you change the whole atmosphere. You ask more why, and you open the question, so you address the negative phenomenon with the question. Let's ask ourselves what happened here. Why did it happen? Not just being a victim of our own negativity, not just saying it was wrong, but to look at ourselves and ask questions. What happened to me? What happened to you? What did I want to say? What did you want to say? What was your hidden message that you couldn't deliver and instead you shouted and you were aggressive? Why? And why is a key tool to learn about the deepest things. You just ask why, and many times you don't rush to find the answer. You just keep yourself asking the questions and you allow yourself continue asking. So you open up the knowledge to flow inside just by asking without trying to give complete answers. Many times with complete, definite answer, you come also with criticism. And you say, this is good, this is bad, that's it. But when you bring the questions, many interesting things can be found under the surface when we ask why. All right. So you said that it kills or robs your joy, and it makes it harder for you to focus on the good. But on the other hand, with your students, there was a negative scene, but then you managed to make it a conversation and you actually turned the darkness into light. This is what you did. You actually made a transformation process with the children, and you wouldn't have done this unless the darkness came.
but also, may I add, because I had a purpose, I had to teach them something, and I didn't want to waste time, you know, on dealing with the issue. And because the kids were emotionally kind of out of order, and they were not ready to listen, to learn the English lesson, yes, in the English. So, but now I'm observing. I had to act quickly because I was at work. I had to teach them. Yes, I didn't want to waste my time. Whereas my situation from yesterday, because no, I was by myself. I wasn't accountable to anyone. Yes, so I allowed myself, in a way, to follow this victim spirit, like you mentioned. I think this is what was in me, this victim spirit. Kind of, yeah.
So I think you taught them a very, very important lesson beyond the curriculum, about the lesson of learning about ourselves, and also about the possibility to find the darkness, to do some work within it, and the possibility to find the way to turn the light within the darkness. And this is what you said. without the darkness, we couldn't have noticed the light. As I heard someone saying, during the night when you want to see the stars, how could you see them without the darkness? You cannot see them in the daylight. There are no stars over there. Okay, and this is physical, but this is also a metaphor. Because I believe that if there are people here in mankind, in humanity, that we can call them light workers or lighthouses, where will be they located? In the dark places. This is where they can share their light and do some contribution. Okay? All right. Thank you. Who else wants to add to this interesting conversation? The question was, I remind you, what may be the purpose of darkness? It is a very confusing question because darkness hurts us, robs us, prevents from the good things. We wouldn't like it. We would like to kill the darkness, to eliminate it so everything will be comfortable and we can make the progress of growth, creation, loving, etc. Why would, in relationships, you don't like to fight. You wouldn't ask your lover, hey, come on, let's fight. Will you join me for a fighting session? No, it is something you don't invite, but it comes sometimes. And it may be uncomfortable, but in many ways, it may be also an opportunity. So anyone else wants to add their opinion about the question of the value? I know it is a metaphor. I mean, there's no real value of aggression, of hurting people, of destroying, but it's just a broader look at the phenomenon. Yes, Jerry.
What can come out of the darkness, and I have witnessed this in so many people, and they will say once they give up the substance or change the behavior, and then they really grow and transform, they're actually grateful for this experience that they were alcoholics because now they're a better person. So out of darkness, out of troubles, we could become better people.
Okay, that's it. All right. Thank you. Also in Judaism, there is a very special place preserved for people who were, how do you say it, criminals and decided to leave criminality and become good people. They are valued highly in Judaism. There is a very special place reserved for them. They are very appreciated. The one who was able to leave the criminality and find a positive purpose, to do this transformation is something very special. So this video was about the addiction to feeling as if you are a victim. So when I'm saying you are addicted to it, it is a state in which you feel that you are a victim of a situation and you are totally convinced that this is reality. So you are addicted to this and you don't see any other way to acknowledge or to make interpretation for the situation, the bad situation. You just feel you are a victim, which is you are helpless, the circumstances are not good for you, there's no much you can do, you're just stuck with your pain. And recently in Israel, I had these feelings from time to time when I saw and heard things that are taking place and I was astonished. And from time to time, I was kind of paralyzed until I returned to my light work. But I did feel that, oh my God, what can I do? I cannot do anything. And then I was able to get out of it, but I did meet these feelings. And I asked you about the value of darkness because I believe that the what we call darkness or void or nothingness in life is addictive. And this is the relationship. I'm saying that we can transform our feeling of being a victim only if we realize that we are addicted to it, to this darkness within us. And you know that you turn on the light from the darkness. So if you take the matches and you turn them, you have fire, which means that the energy to turn the fire was over there in the darkness. You use the energy that was there. I can say that this is a great metaphor for transformation. You begin in the low place, and only if you have even a little assumption that there is something good over here, even if it is so bad, there is an opportunity here. There may be an opportunity here. So you challenge this feeling of being addicted, which means I'm helpless. Let's say Basha could have seen her students and just go crazy. Come on, shut up. Let's continue the lesson. You're disturbing me. She could have stayed helpless and just fight and try to stop the darkness, but I guess it wouldn't work. And instead, she went into the darkness and over there asked, why? What is going on with us? So she went into the darkness and asked the questions. And this is the concept of transformation. It says darkness is not just bad. There is a potential energy there that's just not used properly. And light can be recovered from there, from the very negative. It doesn't mean that every negative situation can be turned into light. I guess negativity will always be there, but a part of it can be transformed. This is the process. And whenever you go from pain to happiness, you realize that you could have transformed your darkness. And unless you were there in the addicted, painful state, you wouldn't have felt the process of transformation. It couldn't be that. I mean, the whole process of changing, becoming a better person, solving your problems, many times it begins in a very low place, in a very helpless place. This is the beginning. This is where we begin the transformation. So whenever I encourage you to practice emotional transformation, the first step would be, I just expose all the things that I feel now, the bad things, the conflicts, the sorrow, the pain, everything I put on the table, everything. I don't need to hide anything. I need to express as much as I can, even if it sounds very dark. And then the transformation begins. Okay? The same goes for any addiction. You begin with saying, I'm alcoholic, I'm addicted to codependency. Yes, I am. I'm addicted to overeating. I am addicted. This is the dark place where you begin. You have to begin over there. Mm-hmm. And in this sense, we can say that this is the purpose, or this is what may be useful in the darkness, but only for the people who are willing to do the work going from darkness to light. There are people who stay stuck there. They are addicted, but they cannot acknowledge their addiction, and they can be dangerous, they can be harmful, they can be exploited. And many times, we cannot do anything to change them. They will keep on representing darkness in humanity. This will be their job unless they transform. But there are many other people who have the potential to find new love within them, to find new creativity within them. So they have the potential to do this process of transforming. But they will all start the way in the darkness. So it's also a revelation for me, because I also hate the darkness. It hurts me. I try to avoid it. But the more you grow, you understand it is part of life, and it is represented through people, situations, and then you are challenged and you are asked, what will you do now while you're facing this darkness? I mean, you can complain, you can get angry, frustrated. It's reasonable to be this way, but many times it won't change anything. All right, who else wants to talk? Because I have talked too much. Just remind us your special name, please.
Agnieszka.
Agnieszka. Yes.
It's a Polish long name. I want to say that I like what you said now, that something good can come out from darkness for those who want to work out their lives, because I have a bit of problem to find value in the darkness without the light. I think darkness has value only in the presence of light. That means I like that we accept reality, that in this life there is a darkness, what we need to face in us, and outside, and there is a light. I think it's also divine light, and also there is a light in us. So we struggle in this life to, I like the word to become overcomers. So one of the thing what I think about life, because I already faced darkness as well as a light, and my own darkness as well. So I know that it can come out something good from that, but only if I have that attitude to overcome it. So one of the purpose in the life can be the way how you see life. It can be to become overcomer. It's not only one, but we will to come into light, we will need to overcome something. The question is for me if I can do that without help from above. This is another topic, yes, because I find out that not every darkness I can defeat by myself, but I like to face that reality, that this is the condition of the life and I need to overcome something. That's it.
This is beautiful.
Mm.
Agnieszka. This is how you say it?
Agnieszka, yes.
Agnieszka.
That means lamb. The animal,
Okay.
lamb.
Lamb. Okay. So I wrote it now in Hebrew, so I will not make Agnieszka. It sounds Russian, but I guess Polish and Russian are similar.
Slavonic, yes.
Because for people who are not familiar, Hebrew and Arabic sound the same. So I guess for us, yes. Polish and Russian sound the same.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So you said something beautiful, that darkness may have a purpose only in the presence also of light over there.
Yes.
I can say vice versa. Light has a purpose when it comes to overcome the darkness. Okay? So I guess both of them may need to live together somehow, and there is a continuous struggle, continuous challenge to face the darkness and to overcome it with light. And it is a repeated challenge, I guess, to find your next darkness or your next challenge and bring your light over there and to see how you can overcome it, or in my words, how you can transform a piece of the darkness into light. To say the darkness is a potential light that just wasn't turned on yet. Okay? This is how you help people find that there is an option not to fight, but to have peace. The potential exists over there. But they begin in the dark place, fighting each other, and then there may be, I hope so, in Israel also, I believe it does, once we get tired of fighting each other, so we can find the option of turning the light from this darkness. So I like and I love what you said, that the darkness has a purpose once the light can go through it or be involved in it and become an overcomer. Nice. Thank you, Agnieszka. All right. Who else wants to add or challenge? Or so I remind you that this conversation began with addiction to the feeling of being a victim. And the connection is that if you stay in this feeling of addiction, you're just entrapped in the darkness and you don't see a way out. You're addicted. Darkness is addictive. Once you say, hey, I'm just addicted to this, so there is a potential for me to recover because it's just an addiction. It doesn't have to be my total reality. I may have some process to do to recover. There is a potential to recover within the addiction, within the darkness. And whenever we are there, it's hard to see it. Whenever the pain is strong, when the heart of the problem, it's hard to see it. But if you manage to go a little bit aside, you may reconsider the way you perceive this darkness situation. Okay, who else wants to join the discussion?
I'd like to emphasize something, please.
Yes, Ayala.
First of all, I sympathize with what Agnieszka and Basha said very much, that darkness and light are dependent on one another. It's even more than potentially existence. They are embodied in one another. And the simplest example that I can think of is that even the sun doesn't actually go down. When it's so-called go downs in Israel, it's morning in Australia. Light is always there. And the only surrounding where one can see light and find light is in the darkness. I was sure that you were going to say it when you gave the example of the matches. The fire is there. The light is there. If we're in the light, the bright light constantly, we also will be blackout. We won't be able to see anymore. So I think they coexist, even embodied in one another. And I take the liberty to mention your book and your course of the gift or the present of depression. When I first bumped onto this combination, I had an antagonistic reaction after experiencing a very deep clinical depression. I said, how can it be that somebody puts those two words together? But I got to the stage where I realized that it's totally so, because I've done quite a great deal of self-work in the last 10 years. And I'm not sure whether I would have gotten to the place I'm in now, the place I'm going, my being now, my acknowledgement of things, my perception of life, if I didn't go through this hard, very dark, very scary experience of depression. And so I parallel between depression and darkness, because this is it's not just a term that we use, it's really a feeling, but they go along one another.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ayala. You mentioned the present of depression, which are really, it's a hard combination. I know, I take responsibility of this combination. Whenever you are in the midst of depression, you wouldn't think about any present. But in the long run, and if you have just even 1% in your mind, 1%, this may be in the long run something good from this chaos, from this shit. It may be a seed that later will grow something positive out of the depression. And one last thing I would like to say in the metaphor of matches, for us to make the darkness light, we need to make a choice. It is a matter of choice. You need to invest some energy so you turn on the light. Electricity, you need to do this action with the matches or to turn on your flashlight. You need to make a choice to find the light. It won't come by itself, or at least it may come, it may help you once you make a step, and maybe divine forces will then join you. But first you need to find from within you, I can do something with the darkness. I can stop the students from fighting each other. Oh, we can ask questions about this. So there is a need for initiative from within the darkness that has the courage to search for the light within the chaos and within the place that looks very helpless, very hopeless. And I think this is the work. And this is the difference between people who can become overcomers and the people who stay stuck in the darkness. The knowing that you may have a choice, that you can try, and you can look for ways for the light, and you increase the potential to find it if you just make this choice. It's, you know, in the Bible, this is the story with Adam and Eve about the choice. And there's all the legends from there, the price of the choice. What will you choose? So you can stay in the darkness. It is a legitimate choice. Or you can try to find the light, and there is the potential. Their energy of light is within there. So in psychological way, the energy of transformation. I think we had a nice talk here today. So Jerry from San Diego, all the friends from Poland, you are so many, us from Israel, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week. I will update you about our new program, which is the same program, but just focused on the ability also to teach this information further, like Basha did intuitively, okay? So we can not only talk about the good stuff, we can also ask ourselves, how can we deliver it further? All right, so I will see you next Tuesday, same time, more updates in the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pinky. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Pinky. Bye.